Okay. Nice. Hello. After my completely failed experiment from yesterday, I thought I'd just, do it again. Oh, hi there, David. Notification squad. Awesome. So yeah, I tried to do this yesterday. I don't know if any of you noticed that. But I have a separate PC in the garage which I use for recording audio mostly, but also looking up stuff or watching some YouTube, all kinds of things. And it was running Fedora 25, and somehow OBS broke. So I upgraded it to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, but OBS just, everything worked. I could do test recordings for hours and hours. And then I hit start streaming, and it would just crash. And would keep crashing. So I had tested everything, and everything was working. But every time I hit start streaming, it would just die instantly. And no logging, nothing pointing to what actually was the problem. Good evening. Hi, Tolly, David, CW Fire actually. Martijn, yeah, it's the evil crash of Linux, I know. But what I ended up doing after 1 o'clock last night, I gave up. I couldn't fix it. I got a little USB stick. This one. I plugged it in, and I reformatted everything. I was either that or throw the computer out of the window. So, it's now running Ubuntu 18.10, and I compiled OBS Studio from source and FFmpeg. And now I can also use my Intel hardware acceleration. So I have this little webcam thingy set up, and then the top-down view is actually one of the 8 megapixel IP cameras. I'm sure most of you have seen that video. And yeah, that way I'm hoping we can. Wait, did I just receive my own notification? Let me check. Yep, cool. That way, I'm hoping we can do some soldering, and I'm going to build some quinled boards, and meanwhile we'll talk. I don't know, just hang out. So no real subject. I guess we could talk about quinleds, but no real subject explicitly. Maybe channel-related subjects, but other than that, everything goes. And yeah, I'm just going to solder. Record you throwing it out of the window. Yeah, but then I'd be down one PC. So I think the reinstallation option, which I ended up choosing, was the better one. So yeah. Oh yeah. Let me highlight that, everyone. Everyone, live stream is actually working tonight. Come and hang out with us. Come and hang out. Okay. Oh no, you're sending these to 100 people. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, how's the audio? Is that any good? Can you understand me okay? Okay, cool. Nice. Okay. Because I'm using this little webcam. I don't know. I think it's 5 years old, maybe even older. I don't know. Yeah, previous time it was a bit of a hack. Now we're using multiple devices. I have a separate microphone, a separate camera here, and a separate camera there, and a separate PC, and yeah. This cam is pretty good latency wise because it's USB, but this one, the upper one, it's using an RTSP connection, and as you can see, it actually lags. So, but it's mostly to show what I'm doing. It's more interesting than either looking at my face or what I'm doing. So now we can do both. So let's see. I have multiple PCBs here. If you can see that. Let me try and make that a bit bigger. Maybe that works better. Hold on just a second. Yeah, this is going to look very professional. Is that better? I think that's better. There we go. Okay. If I go full screen. Ah, my chat's on the wrong side of the screen. Okay. Well, actually, I think I can fix that. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, no. Here's live for you. And then we can just do like this. So, and then we have to turn this one a little bit. No, more. More. Okay. So, is that better? Well prepared. Well, I was, and then I wasn't. So, we'll make it work. So these blue ones, these are prototypes for the quinled-dig. It says it over here. Those are the digital controllers I'm working on, but those are still a secret project, I guess. I haven't released any of those. Although actually, there's a Paul in our Discord, and I sent him some boards recently, so you can prototype test it. But we're not working on those today. And here is a combined board with a deca and 2 quads. Those are analog dimmers, so for normal, normal LED strip like this. This is an RGB plus CCT strip. And we're going to solder a quad and a deca today. And we'll see how far we go, how far we can come. But yeah, so let me just get started, I guess. Let me get something for that. So I'll try and pay attention to the chat, of course, but actually, Tolly, the new Quinn LEDs do use the ESP32, that's correct, but I haven't been able to find any software that works correctly with domotics which supports the ESP32. So that's kind of a catch. I know I wrote the firmware and the plugin for domotics for the old one myself, for the OG one, Quinn LED OG. But software writing really isn't my thing, and much better options have surfaced over the years for the Quinn LED OG. I still use my own option myself because, well, it works, but yeah. For the new, though, ESP Easy doesn't support the ESP32, and neither does Tasmoda or Espruna or something like that. So currently, there is no software for the ESP32 that works with domotics. So, yeah. What I do use is ESP Home Lib, or ESP Home YAML, whatever you want to call it, or ESP Home. And that has very tight integration with Home Assistant. And I'm actually thinking of switching to Home Assistant myself. I still use domotics for, well, basically the whole house. But I've been preparing to migrate, basically. So, yeah. No domotics just yet. Although you could link it to MQTT, I think. But, yeah. So, let's see what we... It's been a while since I soldered one myself. So I always need to think about what goes where. Yeah, little diode. Okay. You did use the old QL, but I like to use Windows for domotics. You like me more on the other side. Well, if that's in front of the chat, I think this is the better option. Okay. Well, let's get components. So, what are we going to need? We're going to need a ESP32. Okay. Let me just put these here. We're not going to need a level shifter. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to need some pin headers. So this new design uses two 12-pin headers. Yep, those are these. Or this newer revision, I should say. And then some 3-pin headers. Yeah, I actually also run it in a VM on Linux. You could do it on Windows, but the old commands. Hey, it was the best I could do at that time, so you know, already took me a while. Then we need output. Can use no, not red, black, red, black, green, blue. Okay, I'm going to use that. Yeah, I'm thinking about switching to Home Assistant because there's a lot more support in there, and for whatever reason, the development seems to be a lot faster for Home Assistant. And I've been toying around with it, and the structure is kind of different. But looking at Node-RED and MQTT and being able to link it to Grafana and that kind of stuff, I think that aligns more with my future plans. So that's why I'm looking into Home Assistant, and these new boards work perfectly with Home Assistant right now. So yeah. Yeah, software. I spent quite some time in the hardware because of multiple revisions and optimizing it. But software also, I mean, yeah. So, MOSFET capacitors, resistors, pin headers, SMD, diodes, and MOSFETs SMD. Okay. Yeah, I'll get those in a minute. Oh, yeah, I'll get those in a minute. I need 6 of these, or 3. Yeah, well, see, I have a VMware server running anyway, or Proxmox, I have both. So I'd rather run it in a VM than in on a Raspberry Pi. But if I get my way, let me see how to do this. This is always a bit hard. Nope, one too many. Damn it. There we go. If I get my way, I'll be upgrading my home servers this year. So there will be at least one new server build. And as I mentioned, I'm going to do my Road to Ryzen again, 3000, next Ryzen apocalypse. And we're going to do that. And yeah, pin headers mill. Yeah, I need some of those. Yep. Nope. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. I know the top-down camera isn't the best quality because it's zoomed in pretty much, or pretty much, a lot. But at least you can follow a little bit what I'm doing, right? So they can piss off NVIDIA even more by getting Lisa Su. Lisa Sue is cool. Capacitors. I need some of those, I think. I believe Lisa Sue and Hensing from NVIDIA are actually related. So it's funny, they have the biggest graphics companies on the planet and they're now both wearing leather jackets. I don't know what's up with that. It's been too long since I soldered these. Ah, right, this is still revision 3. Okay. Since this one I've made revision 4 and maybe 5. I don't remember. But there's subtle changes. I don't have those PCBs yet myself, but functionality wise they're mostly the same. So I'm just going to solder these. But that means I don't need any capacitors, I think. Okay. Don't I need any capacitors? No, I need resistors. Resistors, 10K. Yeah, scissors. What do you think about ECC memory for Ryzen servers? Well, if you want to invest in it, it's always a good thing. But I am not one of the ZFS, because I run a lot of ZFS purists, I would say, that says you cannot run ZFS without ECC memory because your system will explode. No, it won't. And we've been running desktops like that for like years, and I've been running desktop servers like that for years, and ZFS without ECC memory still guards better against errors than without it. And it's better to have it, but memory would be about twice as expensive. So instead of 400 euros or 450 for 64 gigs, it will cost me about 800. And I'm not sure it's worth it to me. So, yeah. Yeah, Martijn is actually my brother, for people who didn't know. We're going to have a family feud. When did we do that? 407, no. 58, yes. These little buggers are so tiny. Okay, 16 people watching. Nice. Hello. So, now we have some people watching. I guess I could do an announcement. I think I've already announced it on my Discord. Not 100% sure, but I'm actually who of you here know Dr. Z's and his YouTube channel? Well, I'll just continue and wait for you guys to respond. I know him. Nice. Because Paul here, from Paul Morley, what's his name? Hold on. Is he not online? I don't think he's online. Damn it. Okay. He's actually frequent there, and he knows the guy a little bit, and he introduced him to quinled-LEDs. And actually, we've arranged that I will be his guest star. On the 3rd of February, and we'll be talking about quinled-LEDs and Home Assistant and ESP Home YAML and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be a guest star on his show to talk about quinled-LEDs. So what was his name? I can add another YouTuber. What? Yeah, I mean, it's cool. He kind of reached out and he was like, hey, you want to be a guest star? And I was like, yeah, sure, I can talk about my board. He had Otto Winter, who made ESP Home Lib, the software I use, a few weeks back. And I think it's a great thing he's doing. So, what are you trying to link? That the guy talk to you right now. Right now? Let me check that. Let's hope this PC doesn't melt down. Oh yeah, that's Dr. Z. You can link that. Sure. There we go. Dr. Z's. Yeah, he's actually an anesthetic. So he calls himself Dr. Z's. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, I need a red one. Nope. Other one. Yeah, I changed the YouTube settings this time. Oh, my accent's going. So it should be less of a delay than last time. But yeah. So, what else do I need? Yeah, got that. I have MOSFETs, but I have those here. Oh, DC converter. Medium size DC converters, I think. Do you guys know these IKEA boxes? Yeah, they're from IKEA. I believe they're about, 30 cents a piece, something like that. Really cheap, but I use it as my IKEA Tinker storage system. And yeah, I really like them. They're very cheap and easy to organize stuff. So, and they stack well because of the round thingies. So. Yeah, he does a lot of Home Assistant stuff. Cool. Well, I guess we should get soldering then. I'm actually going to do something different. I'm going to get out the SMD paste and flux. Solder, I guess. Because most of my demonstrations are using a normal run-of-the-mill, soldering iron. And I think that is because a lot of people are scared of hot air soldering. Okay, I didn't actually show that correctly. Is this better? Yeah. Because I think most people are scared of hot air soldering, but nowadays, I think you can buy a whole hot air soldering station for about $30. I think I can just show you guys. Hold on. Does this work? There. This is my my hot air soldering station, gun, whatever. You can set the temperature. And as you can see, it's sleeping right now. And if you pick it up, it starts and it has a tip like this. And you just hold that on your project and the paste will melt. And then you let go or move it away, and then it'll just solidify like you solder it, like normal. So, yeah. Oh, turn it off. See if I can get you back in place. Doesn't get more life than this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, more people should do it. And I'm thinking maybe I'll do a video series about it in the future, about soldering a quinled-deca. I have a fan there. A quad with or without hot air, and most people will see that using hot air is actually easier than not using it. So. I haven't used this paste in a while. Might have dried up. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's good. Some ladekastjes from Hornbach. Yeah, well, cool. Okay, that should be good. What should we do first? I think it's resistors. We need a tweezer. No. I'm hoping the noises aren't too loud. I was thinking of maybe setting up a compressor, but I haven't yet. So this we can do later, now, later. Use headset to listen, no problems. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, getting these out. Yeah, I doubt these will actually show up on camera. I have no clue. Of course, I'm not looking at it full screen, so maybe it will. Actually, Jeff, no. But everything I'm using right now is different than what I use normally. So, up top is my favorite 8 megapixel IP camera. I have a video about that. You can check it in the video list. I'm using a Microsoft LifeCam, which supposedly does 1080p, although not really sure about that. And then I'm using a Bumblebee something. What's it called again? Hold on, let me look up. Oh yeah, it's a neat Bumblebee microphone. It's a USB microphone I use to record all my videos. I think it has excellent sound pattern. And it's about $200, I think. I did a video about it. You should be able to find it too. So, set of tweezers. Yeah, I have these cheap little things that came with it. I know those aren't the best, but you know. Okay. Oh, that's right. I need my magnifying glass. Let's see if this one will do. Yeah, you can see my balding head moving away. Oh man, I changed these in the newer revisions because this diode is so tiny. It's just a pain. Is there even any markings on here? I think so. Well, I can always turn it around if I have to. Okay. Yeah, that's, well, it's 323, as they call it, because diodes don't do 0805. And on the newer boards, I changed it to 123. So those are a bit bigger. So, paste for the resistors. And I'm sure you guys are looking at this and like, oh man, this guy's like a noob and he doesn't know what he's doing. Actually, I don't. This is a hobby. Deal with it. Well, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm sure there's professionals out there who are cringing like crazy, like I would for the things I do professionally also. But, you know, it'll work. That's the most important part, I think. So, yep. Okay. Yeah, I switched to the ESP32 because basically the ESP8266 is limited to 1 clock or 2 channels of 1 kilohertz PWM, and the ESP32 has 8 timers and 16 channels, which I've actually tested them up to 300,000 hertz PWM. So that's 300 times as fast. And you see this color changing light behind me. If that was 100 hertz or 1000 hertz PWM, you would probably see it flicker. But right now it's running at 40,000 hertz PWM. And well, that doesn't show up on video anymore unless you really, really try and look for it with special settings. So that's the main reason I switched to the ESP32. Yeah, the new quinled-quad and deca are using the 32s. That's correct. Okay, diode. Way too much space there. Okay. Oh wait, let me turn the temperature up. Should be good. Okay. Yeah, well, most stuff from China is on the slow boat. But I am using a specific version. These are the MHET Live ESP32s. That doesn't mean it's not compatible with another board or another ESP32. But my board designs are, or pinout is made for those. And so if you buy another one, you have to check that those are actually compatible. So now we do the magic of soldering. Hoping you can see some of that. No, don't tombstone. Okay. Damn it. Okay, it's upside down, but that doesn't actually matter for a resistor, so. See how the paste melts and it actually, oh, the wire's in the way. It actually pulls the component or the part to the pads. I really like that. Okay. Yep, those are done. Nice. Nice IKEA onderzetter, yeah man. But they're actually really flame retardant. So soldering on them it's the perfect surface to solder. So, and it provides a bit of grip. I can really recommend the IKEA onderzetter. Yeah, I can make it even bigger. I'm not sure that's going to help in the quality though. Let me see. Let me just, do this. Pull over here. Yeah, I don't think it has the resolution to show that correctly. But yeah. IKEA coaster. Yeah, that's true. For the argument, yes, Martijn. Okay, what's next? I'm not gonna do these because then I'm screwing myself. So I'm going to do the MOSFETs, I think. Yeah. Okay. Putting the paste down. So this is the advantage of using hot air with this type of MOSFET package, because although you can solder them, you won't be able to get those big pads correct. Well, it'll work just fine, but it's a better connection using the big pads and some solder on them or some paste. But it's still very doable with just a normal soldering gun, iron. There we go. Yeah, I know. I just don't have a close-up camera. At least I could use my normal camera and the zoom lens, but I don't have a capture card. So yeah, this was the best I could come up with right now, and I might actually just move it closer at some point. Maybe, maybe not. So we just put these over here. And you can't really miss on the orientation because it has two legs. But that's the great way of soldering like this. It basically corrects itself. What I could do is I could take my face camera and show you guys. Okay, I don't have real-time feedback, so I can't do that. Hold on. Okay. So, does that work? Yeah, that works. So, yeah, I put the paste on the pads, and then I just push the components in there. And now we're going to melt them. Or melt the paste, not the components. So let me try and do this two-handed mega action here. Okay. Let's try not to melt the webcam. So, once you apply the heat, you see it start to spread out first. And then it starts solidifying once it gets hot enough. There we go. But I have to heat up the package a bit to make the big part. There we go. Did you see it move? Let's try another one. Sorry about that. There we go. Hold on. Let me rewire this. There we go. So let's do the last two. So I'm heating up the package too from the MOSFET so that the paste underneath it would also melt. Okay, that should be good. Hold on just a second. I'm just going to put you down there real quick. See, does it? Oh. This is such a professional show, you don't even want to know. I mean, it's surpassing any expectations. There we go. I can pick it up easier like that. I'm trying not to melt the cam. Well, let me check if this went. Ah, okay, that board's hot, of course. Haha. Let me try if this went okay. See. Yep, seems to be a good connection to all the pads. So then we can flip it around again. And then we have to do the last SMD component. And that is these pin headers. Because people often ask me what's the advantage of a Quin LED above like the normal controllers, like the Magic Home controllers you can buy. Well, one is the channels. They can handle up to 100 or 120 watts a piece instead of in total. Then it's a PWM frequency, which is much, much higher. And another thing is I have two GPIO pins on here, plus 5 volts, plus 3.3 volts, and ground pins. So if you wanted to hook up a switch or a sensor or something like that, you could just connect it to this board instead of requiring another module that you'd have to power and, you know, stuff like that. Hi there, Morton. Welcome. Well, I like both. I like this live stream stuff because I can talk with you guys. But I also like and get pride in doing the edited stuff and all the high quality and, you know. So I think there's a place for both. Is this LED free? Oh, okay. I just read on here, storage condition refrigerator, 0 till 10 degrees. I have not done that. Still seems to be working fine. I do not know if this paste is lead free. It's made in China and bought in China. So it's really nice paste. Alloy SN63PB37. I do not know. I'd have to look that up. Sorry. It's on quinled.info. If you look in the accessories or equipment page, there should be a link there, and maybe it says so in the description. PB is lead? I guess so. I don't know. I didn't specifically buy lead free, so it's very well possible. Come on. So let's see if I can actually prop this up here. I have to look at my big screen again. No. Huh. That's pretty okay. Okay. So now it's not a face cam, but a close-up cam, I guess. Short sidebar. Well, it's not a sidebar. That's a channel topic. The IPC, blah, blah, blah. With metal housing are the components that are white metal and able to be painted black. I guess you could paint them. I don't actually know. I think so. I've never tried, but the outside shell of the cameras is basically all metal. That's one of the reasons I like them. Okay. Yeah, solar cam. Ah, thank you, Bet. Still 15 people. Oh, wow. I've been at this for 45 minutes? Damn. I'm very slow while streaming. Yeah, now the component is actually blocking the view. Let me change that real quick. Does this still work? I think so, yeah. Well, melted some of the plastic there, but that should be okay. Yep, that's neatly soldered. No, I can imagine if your door's black, you don't want a giant white camera sticking on there. So yeah. I think the next thing to do is toy with the voltage converter. Sure, no problem. If you're shopping on AliExpress, and I really hate asking for this, but I do anyway. If you use my links, that's greatly appreciated. Because it helps me out buying and tinkering with stuff, to be honest. So, yeah. If you rough it up a little bit with some sanding paper and then maybe do some spray paint, I guess that could work. Yes, this isn't a Quinn LED only stream. We can talk about any channel subject, that's fine. This is always a bit of a pain. Sorry, I have to take this board in my hand. There we go. Let me see if this is still in the picture. No. Other way. There we go. So the hot air soldering portion is kind of done. So I'm going to take out my normal soldering iron. And we're going first to solder the top. And I don't think I'm going to solder the bottom yet. Because, well, we'll have to see. I've used lots for some tools, but your camera links $80 more and I'm buying two, so I'm shopping around that. Actually, if you still go to AliExpress using my link and then buy somewhere else, that works just fine, as long as it's in the same session. And even if you add it to cart and then buy it, that's all fine. It doesn't have to be that specific product. Just go there, use it by link. Actually, if you check in the Discord on the pinned messages, there's a general link. Oh, I guess I can look that up. So if you use this link to go to AliExpress, jump to present. That's just a generic link, and then you can buy anything you want, and I should get a little kickback from that, so that'd be awesome. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Awesome. Thanks. Okay, let's see if my iron is hot by now. Seems to be. Well, Home Assistant is pretty good for what it is, but I think the learning curve to get started with it is actually a lot harder than Demotics, because the web interface from Demotics is just so much better and easier than those, no offense, stupid YAML files. So, but in the end, I think Home Assistant is good for what it does, but yeah. Nope. Okay, I have to do this better. Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys using my AliExpress links. I mean, that really helps me out. Buying and tinkering with all this stuff, and also kind of making the time to do these things, because I actually buy some free days from work nowadays to make videos. So, yeah. Okay, I wonder what you're building then, Jeff, but yeah. Okay, so that's done. Now, this design has a flaw in it, because you see this little spot here for the Dallas temperature sensor. If I put that on right now, and then power up the board to set the voltage converter, this little module expects 3 to 5.5 volts. But if I put 24 volts on here and don't have it regulated yet, I blow up this one. So I'm not putting it on there yet before I solder on or I fix the voltage converter to the right levels, and then I can put on the Dallas module. So, what should go next? Okay, I have to take this in my hand, sorry. These are lower. Okay, so the way I do soldering is I actually look at the components, and I basically solder from bottom to top. So if you look over here, the screw terminal is actually higher than the pin headers, so that means I'm going to solder the pin headers first and then the screw terminals. Just my way of doing things, I guess. Yep. This is going to be a tight fit. I've changed some stuff in the newer revisions and moved them around so they fit better. Because if you look over here, you see that one of the pins actually isn't connected to anything right now. Well, I've just removed those in the newer design. But, yeah. If you're looking at starting with a package, also have a look at OpenHAB. I've heard a lot about OpenHAB, but I've never used it myself. So, yeah. And I kind of like Home Assistant, but partially that is because of the large amount of development for it. So, 18 people now. Sorry for this noise. I keep getting these packed. Okay. Where's my scissors? Yeah, ESP Home Lib and Home Assistant is just like the brilliant combination. Oh, sorry about that. So the next thing we need to do to build this is, you see that we have the two different pin headers, and we get one of the larger strips like this, or long strips like this. We basically have to break it off because we're not using all the pins of the ESP32. So what I do is I basically just jam it in there. So I make it like this. Where's the other ones? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Ender 3 is cool. I haven't been able to play with it for over a month or two, I think, or a month, I don't know, way too long, but no time. So now I just made these. Oh, I don't have any real-time feedback. That's, hold on. Yeah, so I made these. What I'm basically going to do is, there we go. Snap them so they become the correct length. Okay. Like that. And in the end you'll have some surplus. I guess we could have used those for the voltage converter. Oh, that's actually a good thing to remember in the future. Can use those for the voltage converter. Okay. Anyway, once that is done, you put them back in the board. Like that. Ow, there's some fiberglass sticking in my fingers. And then comes the biggest trick. We have to put on the ESP32. I have to do this on and again, sorry. Of course, this was never meant as a tutorial, but I guess it's becoming one. Okay, if you got that correct, it'll look like this. No. It's a bit of a fidgety work. Did I get it this time? Yeah, I think so. So the neat thing is, if you do it like this, it auto-aligns basically all those components at the same time. And it's very wobbly right now, but it'll do the bottom side here, and the pins, like that. Yeah. And then you can also do the top pins of the ESP module. And then, once that's done, you can still separate it. So I'm going to solder that real quick. And let me look at the chat again, because I haven't been. Okay. still 16 people watching after an hour. I thought I would have bored you away by now. Oh, don't press the spacebar for whatever reason. Okay. Yep, should be good. I'm new playing LEDs, so this. Until you took the ESP and grounded it to the LEDs. Ground should always be a loop. So all the grounds you have, no matter the voltage, or at least, well, yes, you have to separate AC and DC, but all the grounds, no matter the voltage, should always be connected, because otherwise you'll get a lot of, well, I guess static or noise. So if all the grounds are loop, don't loop the positives, but all the grounds should be connected together. So for instance, on these new boards, there's different voltages used on the boards, but all the grounds are connected. Well, of course, except for the grounds that are run through a MOSFET. Those are still connected, but the MOSFET on the ground, the negative plane, actually determines dimming. So, oh no, I lifted it. Why did I do that? Here we go. I have too much solder. So also when like doing things like programming it and stuff like that, always have the grounds connected. Luckily with the new boards, that's a lot easier because it has, that's why I'm using a development board. It has the serial to USB chip on the board, so there's just a USB connector on the board and you just connect that. You have to watch out with that though, although the diode that's on here is specifically on here for that purpose. Try not to connect power from a power supply and the USB at the same time. Although it should work and not blow up, I've killed lots of boards while designing it. Yeah, don't depend your life on it. Just disconnect power. No, these boards just have a USB connector on itself, and you can use that to program it once. Well, you can use it to program it multiple times, but once you've programmed it once with ESP HomeLib, you can just use do over-the-air updates using Wi-Fi. So that's a whole lot easier than it used to be. Oh no, I made a solder bridge. There we go. It's like I've done this before. Okay, I need some flux. See where I'm trying to solder, but the solder doesn't want to stick? If that happens, use a little flux. I'm just going to redo these joints. And by adding this flux, it will help the solder flow and basically stick to the parts where it needs to and not go to the parts where it doesn't need to. Now, there's no artificial intelligence involved, sadly enough. Who knows, maybe in the future. But I guess it's physics. I don't know why, but it really helps. So if you look now and I redo these joints, you'll see they'll come out a lot nicer. No solder on in yet. No, don't do that. Alright, that side's done. Let me just rework the other side real quick, just to make sure it's tidy. So, anyone watching have any other questions about any subject on the channel? Have you guys all joined the Discord server? Come on. Okay. That's the top side done. So basically we now have this. And now we can do the bottom side. Or actually, we shouldn't. We should do the voltage converter first. But I need to check if it's in the correct way. It is. There's an arrow on there to make it easier. Okay. So let's, oh, sorry about that. Let's solder a voltage converter. Yeah, well, actually the stream was meant for yesterday evening, but I had horrible technical failures, as I mentioned earlier about reinstalling the whole machine or throwing it through a window. But I got that fixed last night, and here we are. I believe someone asked me which software I use to design the PCBs. I use KiCad. I used to use Fritzing for the original ones, but since these are a bit more, I don't know, heavy duty, I guess you could say. I switched to KiCad, and once you get the hang of it, it's actually very nice. I like it, so. Okay. Let's see if I missed any more questions. Oh, well, still 15 people watching. Yeah, learn the shortcuts. Yeah, that's a good remark. Okay, that's done good. Done good. My English is so great. That's done good. Okay. And now we solder the backside. And I try and show you on my solder cam. Trademark. Whatever. Open source. Yeah, this looks professional. Sorry. Okay. So, any more questions about IP cams or Quin LED or maybe Ryzen servers or Proxmox or what else do I do? LAN parties, you know, China gadgets. Oh wait, this hole isn't filled on this design. Cars. What do you want to talk about cars? You want to know what I'm driving, or? How's the GT? Oh, okay. Well, you watched my doorbell video, or maybe some of the others. I don't know. Yes, less range. So officially, it has 50 kilometers of electric range, and in the summer, or during moderate weather, I guess you could say, maybe I can get around 40, but during winter, like this, it's more 25, maybe 30. Depends on how high I crank the heat and stuff like that. And especially on the winter tires, you lose some electric range. But since it's a hybrid and it's meant to work together, the gas mileage you get is actually still very decent for such a big car. So it still helps in that regard. Just pure electric range, well, yeah, it suffers. But, yeah. Yeah, that's the reason I didn't buy an NVR box, and I'm using NX Witness. I'm actually preparing a video with this guy. This is a Mealy. Okay, I have to see my own screen. Hold on. There we go. This is a Miele PCG 35. It's a Apollo Lake quad core, but basically in the Atom range, and it has a few USB ports, and it has gigabit Ethernet, and it has 4 gigs of memory and 32 gigs of onboard storage, and I built in a 1 terabyte SSD, and I'm going to do a video about this little box running as an NVR with NX Witness, and how it can support several 8 megapixel IP cameras, etc. And on sale, those little boxes are about $170, and that's all complete. So including the storage, CPUs, memory, everything. And then you can just use an internal hard disk, or add an SSD, or add some external hard disk to store your footage. And I think that makes a very nice software NVR. Software NVR and that little hardware box. So, don't talk about mileage. I drive 7 kilometers on 1 liter. What? What kind of monstrosity are you driving? I get about 15 kilometers per liter, and if I really stretch it, I think about 20, maybe 25. It's just a Golf. Wow. You're killing my shopping cart. Hey, if you're using my links, I'm not going to judge, man. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit here and smile. So now that the soldering is done, you can see that you can see that the pin headers are actually on fairly straight. And if you solder them separately from having this module inside of it, it's very hard to get it straight. But now, it just works. So that's a little tip. I think that's in my tutorial video too. But yeah. Okay, then the last step is soldering the screw terminals. Yeah, that's it. These are a tight fit. Tight fit, but it fits. Okay. That should do. 2-liter, bigger turbo, etc. Yeah. Oh wow, double the power from when it left the factory? That's cool. Yeah, the GTE has 219 officially, but that combines a 150 horsepower gasoline engine and a 90 horsepower electric engine, and somehow that's 219. Okay, let's get these soldered. Now these connections are connected to the ground and positive planes. So as you can see, even though I'm applying heat to it, my solder doesn't want to go in. So just keep applying heat. You kind of have to soak it in there, or bake it in there. There we go. There we go. So because the connections to the PCB are that thick, or wide I guess, it just takes a lot of heat to get it heated up. See that the solder isn't flowing? Give it some time. There we go. And now it flowed. And then you know you have a good connection. Easy as that. But you do need to soak some heat in there. So if you think it's not working, just give it some time. So Jeff, you're looking at IP cameras, right? Okay. The 8 megapixel, which is also this one, is still very good. I like them a lot. I have lots of them, also for my events and stuff like that. But I have 2 new cameras on my way, which I'm going to test, which have a little bit bigger sensor. So they might actually do a little bit better in low light situations. So if you're buying right now, maybe for some spots hold off until I can make that video. But it will be a few months. And I don't know if they're actually better, but on paper they could be better and almost cost the same. So but you know, you can always wait for the next thing. So if you're buying often, or maybe if you're buying most of the time, you should just buy. because otherwise you'll be waiting indefinitely. Buy now and replace it in a few months. That's actually a much better strategy. Yes, why didn't I think of that? Okay, these are all looking good. Yep, looks good. So, that means all the soldering is done except for the temperature sensor, which I cannot put on right now because I would blow it up if I connect any power source. Ha, fits like a glove. Cool. That's cool. Let your hand downs go to your family. That way it doesn't get thrown away. I mean, often stuff is still good, but even if you don't want to use it yourself, maybe someone else would. So yeah. So I guess I have to set this stupid voltage converter. But I really hate doing that. So I'm going to put you back on my screen. Let me fix that. No. There we go. My phone made noise. Let's see what that's about. Never mind. Yeah. Cool. So, let's set the voltage. Let's borrow something from this one. So are all you guys just zenned out watching me solder some boards together? There we go. No. Yes. Almost 1.5 hours, yeah. My work tempo doesn't go up when I do this with streaming on, it seems. But hey, it was more about hanging out and getting these boards done anyway, so it doesn't really matter how fast it goes. Do you guys have any tips on how to improve the stream, maybe? I mean, you've already made me create the very unique and awesome solder cam. Is there still a video in the making for how you set up your quinleds in the house? The board with the big red button and the fuse? Yeah, actually, Joe, there was, but then I got into doing the new Quin LEDs last year, and I basically never made a video about that. But I am planning to do one in the future. I haven't planned it out yet, so I'm not sure when, because that board was kind of like, kind of a prototype. But actually using the main thing that's important with that is that you use fuses. How do these things happen? But you use fuses in your setup, because if you have one big power supply, it's often best to use some extra fuses. But yeah. Yeah, totally, I'll look into that. Maybe I'll just mount this one closer to the work surface, so that way I can zoom it in more, and it should be a lot sharper. I'm programming at the same time for fun, but not live streaming it. You're not live streaming it, Martijn. How could you? Maybe you should. You like make tons of money. Oh wait. That's maybe not true at all. Yeah, maybe I should, start asking you all you guys for like, yeah, like and subscribe my channel, and like hit that what's it called, super chat button. Yeah, give me all the super chat. Give me all the super chats. So yeah. Smash that button. There we go. That's it. No, I just do this for fun. And if anyone sends me money, that's always appreciated. But I'd much rather have you use my affiliate links, because that gives me a little kickback too, and it doesn't cost you a thing. So, just buy something on AliExpress or Amazon, and I'll be actually just as happy. So, fun and profit. Well, it's not that profitable, actually. Okay, found my right screwdriver. Let me put this in. I'm not going to do the whole close-up camera right now, because that's going to be impossible. I'm going to try and put this on the screen though. Yep. That should work. What? No. Actually, I've been talking to one of them, and I've requested another one of them. And if I'm ever going to receive any free samples, who knows? Because the other ones I'm going to test, I've actually also bought. And that's basically what I use the little money the channel makes for, is to buy more stuff to test. So, if we're talking profitable, no. If we're talking fun, sure, definitely. But, yeah. I think these need to be the other way around. What? What do you mean? 23? Oh, okay. Of course, those are the input pins. Just trying to see if you're paying attention here. I really need to think of a better way to do this. Wait, is this voltage converter not working? No, it's on 7. Okay. So the old board needed 3.3 volts. This new board needs 5.1, something like that. .3, that's fine too. That's maybe a bit too high. Okay, let's see what we got. .1. Okay, that's fine. Make sure. It's actually a bit high. Oh, I can never do this. That's fine. Great. Oh yeah, hit the notification bell. Thanks, Joe. Fun with a little bonus. Well, fun with a little bonus through which I can keep doing this. So yeah. YouTube insisted I should watch this. Not disappointed so far. Oh, thanks, Fabian. Yeah, I guess you're Dutch, so Fabian's good. Steam needs some more free background music for the downtime. Steam. Okay. I was thinking about that beforehand. Would you guys like some music during this stream, or is it fine without it? Okay. Job's done. And then we need one more component. The Zen level too much. Well, yeah, I can understand. If you do super close-ups with a fixed cam, draw a rectangle with a fence. Oh, that's a good tip, Joe. This moves, but yeah, I understand. Well, I could use some techno for the workbase. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking about that. So, but you're right. Whatever music you choose, it's always going to be the wrong one. That's actually, I've never told this. I think Martijn knows. But one of the reasons I do YouTube and I enjoy it is, well, it's for the comments. I love the comments and, chatting with you guys like this. But actually, I also enjoy the hate comments. This might be really stupid, but I don't know. It's just like in Dutch we have something called leedvermaak. Does anyone know the English word for that? Leedvermaak? So you're having a laugh at someone else's expense, I guess, or stupidity. And that's basically how I view most hate commenters. Schadenfreude. That sounds German. But basically, I'm having a laugh at their stupidity, and I know that's really bad, but I think it's more of a healthy way to see it than actually letting hate comments get to me. So, it's like überhaupt in Deutsch. Lay for mock. That's what we call it. Okay. Lay for mock. I've never heard about that. So these pins are so small, I'm going to add flux just to make sure they flow correctly. But yeah, actually that's one of the things I enjoy from YouTube, or like hanging around on Reddit, is reading the stupid people comments. Oh man, I mean, I don't know if I should have said that. But yeah. Don't believe him? What? Okay, maybe I'm missing something here. Okay. I'm just gonna keep soldering and play ignorant. That's the translation according to Google. Malicious pleasure. Oh wow, I like that one. I like malicious pleasure. I'm going to call it that. Where's my magnifying? Oh, I left the LED on. Okay. Yep, looks good. Yep. So, can I show you this? I guess so. This one's like really, really, really tiny. These little oh no. English Wikipedia. Okay, you can post that. There we go. Okay, need to snip those off. Yep. But so, as I was saying, the voltage converter would, before you set it, blow up this temperature sensor. On the newest version, this is coupled to a different voltage plane, so it doesn't matter anymore. You can just solder it all on there without risking any explosions. Should work. That's the main criteria. So yeah, okay. This actually finishes the quad. Very nice. Talking about explosions, my dad found a fan to cool the motor for a saw table. Brabant still works. Well, I guess it's no secret I'm Brabant. I think maybe my accent is even a little bit Brabant, but who knows. Cool. So this quad is done, and we can either do a deca also and keep going, or are you guys getting bored? No, I'm not testing it right now. I think I know it will work, but I don't program the boards on this computer, so I need USB for that. Maybe some other time. But I'm willing to solder another board if you guys are enjoying hanging out, because we still have a deca to do. Let's see if they said anything on Discord. Okay. 2 hours later. Well, 1 hour and 40 minutes. I have considered ordering fully populated boards. Yeah, I don't think it's worth the money in the scale I'm doing this, so small scale. And really soldering them together isn't that big of a problem. So, yeah. It's just getting that all set up would be really expensive. So, I'm just gonna proceed with another board. Maybe I'll stop the stream in a little bit. I don't know. We need a lot of resistors for this board. Board or board? That's a good one. As long as I'm having fun, I'll continue. You guys don't have to watch. I like you watching. I enjoy that, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. 10K. Okay. Capacitors. Yeah. See, I need one capacitor. One capacitor. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, Killer Geek. We did that a few years ago with the quinled-og. But the problem is that since I'm also one of the main organizers and head of the network team, it's hard to juggle it all. So over the past few years, I've been focusing more on that than on this. So yeah, but I understand what you're saying. We'll look into that. So, cap here. Oh, let me keep it on the screen for you guys. So, have you been enjoying the videos lately? Any comments on that, maybe? I've been trying to make them a bit higher quality and also a bit more enjoyable, I guess. A lot less static technical content, but add some jokes to it and some better editing. But any comments about that are always welcome. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Should be good. Just go for mass production. I don't know about that. I think it's a very nice. Quinled is a very nice DIY board, and I don't know if it's really viable for mass production. It has some certain features, but that I like. That's why the board has it. But I'm not sure that's relevant outside of the niche, I guess, if you know what I mean. But maybe, who knows? Problem is, I have a day job, a 40-hour-a-week day job, and I do this for hobby and fun. So, it's hard to juggle. Info and high-quality footage on the device. Yeah, okay. I love the videos. Some of them are too long. Okay, yeah, I can get that. 7 to 10 minutes would be my preference. I try to stay under 10 minutes, but it's really hard to convey my messages in that amount of time often. So, yeah. Jokes are never a bad addition. Thank you. Like the videos. Actually, don't mind longer vids. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to condense it better. That's basically what I've been trying to do. But I'll never become one of those real tech tubers which think that a review is the same thing as taking the product out of a box. Yeah, no. I don't want to become one of those. Because there's a lot more money in doing that. But as I said, I'm not in it for the money. I have a day job. Okay. Sorry, I have to concentrate here. Sorry, didn't see you were sooner. Hey, Paul! Welcome! I actually talked about you a little bit earlier and said you got me notorious with Dr. Z. Well, no, I said you introduced me to Dr. Z, and Paul is actually helping me out getting one of the quinled-quads, which he was the first one to get, to Dr. Z's, so he'll have it in time for the live stream that's coming up. So that's really awesome. Okay, more live feeds. Okay, sure. We can do that. I think. I don't always feel up to it, but uh-oh. Oh no. Aw. Yep, that diode's gone. But I don't always feel up for a live stream, but sometimes I do. And I should make more of those. So, yeah. Just like we need more diodes. More diodes in your life. From the looks of it, I think we've all been there, where the component jumps away and you're like, oh well, that's gone. Cool. Thanks, Paul. You're a lifesaver. Oh wait, I don't put the diode on this side. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Those are in place. That's in place. Very good. Oh, we're going to do the soldering cam again. That's going to work with this board. Kinda. I guess. Hey, did you change your name just now? EC Bart? Emil Bart. About 2 years later, you found it back? Oh, wow. That's why I always order extra, because I just know I'm going to lose some. You like the Deca design? Cool. Thank you. Sneeze all gone. Yeah. Oh, the hardships we go through. Let's see if this one's going to tombstone or not. Oh, there he goes. I already thought so. Yep, that's good. Okay. Can't put it too close to the webcam. Yeah, that works. Hey Paul, they made me invent this soldering cam because they'd rather look at paste drying up than my face. It's a good thing to know for the next videos. Yeah, that's called tombstoning. I've learned. Yeah, well, they do that. Oh, wait, there's a little diode here. Okay. Nope. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. Did you see that snap? That's cool. Yeah, it's the magic of hot air soldering. Oh, it fixed itself. Hopefully you guys can see that. I really don't know. There we go. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that's all looking good. Hold on. Come on. There we go. Yep. Yeah, I've seen those microscopes. I believe EEV Blog also has a good microscope, and Unexpected Maker also has a good microscope. But currently, those are not in my budget. So. If they tombstone, that means the thermal mass of the pads are not even. Maybe. But it could also have to do with just sticking to one side of the paste. So, yep. But those are on there. Did you guys actually notice what this looks like? Just to point out. If I can point this on here. It's kind of an Easter egg in the board. Hold on. No. Yeah, there we go. The resistors are laid out in a 10. Because it's a quinled-deca. Huh? I bet no one noticed that before. It's our little live stream secret. Okay. Took a lot of wiring to get that correct, but it worked. Oh, that's right. I need to do 2 resistors here and a diode. Yeah, Strange Part's a cool channel too. I think Louis Rossmann, he started off, poor, but I think he worked himself up to a good place. So yeah, I have respect for that guy. He does a good job. He has his own opinions. Might not always agree with them, but at least he has his own opinions, and they're often based on good facts. So Okay. Yeah, right to repair. He's very adamant on that, and I couldn't agree with him more. I had a receiver, audio system preprocessor, and it broke because one of the caps blew, and I was luckily able to fix it myself. But those are $700, so I was very happy with that. But if you wouldn't be allowed to do that, that'd be such idiocy. Okay. This should go that way. Okay. And this should go that way. Okay, bye, Tolly. Thanks for joining. I'm starting to scream now. Not like you can hear me. Native API working for the new version of ESP Home last night. It's working nicely. Yeah, I as I mentioned earlier, Paul, I converted mine too. And yeah, it looks good. It's actually cold in the garage, so I'm warming my hands on the hot air gun. Oh, still 16 people watching, so I guess I'll continue. What time is it? 11:30. Okay. Okay, those are done. Oh, sorry about that. Hit the microphone, I think. Huh? Does that port of the board stay on where the 12:30 even? No, it's 11:30. Wait, is my system clock wrong? Could be, because I reinstalled it. No, it's 11:30. You're wrong. Yes, Emil, you're wrong. Thank God. Otherwise, it'd be an hour later. No, Emil. I know Emil. He's Dutch. Yeah, well, date notation. Okay, let me hit you with something. Date notation should all be scrapped, and everything should be 24-hour time, because 11 o'clock at night and 11 o'clock in the morning is not the same thing. And then date notation should be year, month, day, hour, seconds. Big, small, always works, sortable. We should change it everywhere in the world. What do you guys think? No, not date, month, year. Year, month, date. You can't sort date, month, year. Go for epoch. I can't read epoch, sorry. No. ISO 8601. So I'm an ISO 8601 kind of guy? Is that what you're saying, Martijn? Time zones are just such other... It's a problem waiting to happen. No, Emil, we should all change it. Not just the Americans or us. Because our format's stupid too. So... Yeah, it probably gets lost in translation a lot for Martijn too. I have an IT job, as most people would not be surprised by. It's a real bother sometimes. No, I don't agree. As well, this is of course opinion, but I'd rather also for display use a year, month, day, because that's in your head. That's because you're used to it not being so. But I think people could adapt to that pretty quickly, and then we could just all use one logical way of doing it. I mean, at least logical to me. Okay. That should be good. Date, month, fully written out year? Why would you do that? Well, daylight saving time's a whole nother discussion. I'm not sure which way I lean for that. Oh wait, let me allow that link. There we go. Mixing up Dutch. Yes, Joe. I run into this while making my videos. I actually try and keep up with noting it both ways, but it's a bother because I really don't understand feet or well, you have foot and you have whatever. I know inches because inches are 2.54 centimeters. And then you have feet and you have whatever, I don't know their system. It's really confusing. Yards, stones, and miles. What the? Hey, Jeff, you got some free cents off. Nice. Yeah, metric all the way. I agree with that. But, yeah. I think I need more monitors to do this live streaming. There we go. Oh, do we allow fucking on this? Oh, I already said it. Damn it, there goes my monetization. Why did you make me say that? Let's hope it didn't catch it. I'm going to hide your comment, Emil. We're going to try and keep this PG friendly. I'm not always going to do that, but yeah. I'm going to go back to soldering. I don't know. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Let me see what I need to do next. I think I actually need to do the terminals first. No, I need to do the standoffs first. because these should be lower. No, higher. I have to keep talking, of course, because otherwise this is going to get boring real quick. Oh wait, that's why that doesn't fit. It shouldn't fit. Yep. Somebody said it made a beep. Oh, that's Paul. I'll have a look at that later, Paul. Or is it? Oh, you're watching it on a big TV or what? But I can't really. A new first for you, Norian. I'm not sure if you can play it in on the stream. It's a vid of you live streaming, activating sound sensitive. Oh, cool. WS2812Bs. Oh, actually, no, I don't have screen sharing set up, and I'm afraid that will kill this CPU. So, yeah, can't really do that right now, but I'll have a look at your video later. I need one ESP. A little fun is always good. Wait. Yeah. There we go. Oh. So this works the same way as on the other board? Nope. You basically take these and you put them together if they want to. What the? Interesting. There we go. Damn it. It pushed one of the pins out. It sucks. There we go. Was able to repair that. Cool. Okay, then we... Yeah, Paul, cutting them yourself, these female headers, is really a pain to do. Mostly I just order them in length if I can get a good deal. I have tried cutting them myself, but that often equates to halfly destroying them too. So I'm not sure which is cheaper. For me at least. Okay. Good, I'm not the only one. Yeah, no, definitely not. Okay. Eh, not the best, but it should work. So, let me solder that to the board at least. And then I'm going to see how long I'm going to leave this stream running. Because I think we're running out of steam a little bit. Or at least I'm not that talkative anymore. So if you guys know any good subjects, just, you know. "12 people. Campzone is a good subject. Well, you've heard we're moving fields, right? A live Quindor. Hi there, Novo first. Did you just join? Are you still happy with running a centralized DC network for lighting instead of local power bricks? Yeah, we've been living here for over 2 years now, and basically the system I set up with quinled OGs for the light strips and the downlights since that time over domotics with the original code. We've been using that for 2 years, and it's actually been flawless. So lights are still performing the same, and although I'm not running constant current but constant voltage, light output hasn't dropped or changed in any way. And if I would do it again, I would basically do it again. Only thing I change is that I use the new quinled modules instead of the old ones. But that's basically it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that still. Have you mentioned the inspiration for the Deca specifically? Well, the inspiration for the quad and the Deca are actually my ultimate overkill disk project. Because I'm going to integrate a lot of LED strips in my desk, and I needed about, I don't know, 16 or 14 channels of analog LED strip and then some digital LED strip. And I looked around for community projects which had good controllers for that, and basically was a bit disappointed that there really wasn't one except, my original quinled. But that only had 2 channels, so it couldn't do RGB. And it also, if you wanted to use 14 channels, you'd need 7 boards, which was kind of idiotic. And that kind of spurred me to design the quad and the Deca. And the Deca is mostly for projects like, okay, I need 10 channels for like 2 RGB plus CCT strips. Or I want to do stair lighting, so you can control 10 different LED strips with 10 different values. Or if you want to do, individual LED strips you want to control. And maybe not big segments, although it can handle big segments, but just controlling more separate strips. That's basically why it was born for the Ultimate Overkill Disk project. And for that project, I'm also designing the digital controllers because I have some cool effects in mind. And I still need to finish that project. I have all the stuff. I just ran into some snags with the woodworking, and I'm trying to sort those out, and then I'll continue. So, yeah. If I've been to the new field already, it's not as hard as the horse field. But yeah, I've been there. But it should be good, and we're trying to get the right kind of grass on it, and then it should be basically be better than I think in Oorschot. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great field, especially with the location. It's a lot closer to a city, and but not too close. And yeah, I think it's going to be a nice location. Yeah, I did solder those surface mount resistors myself. Why? It's I showed it a little bit earlier. It's a little bit of an Easter egg. because they're shaped like a 10. And it's a quinled-deca. Huh? Took some routing. But it may work. Okay, I think these solder joints are all good. Nice. Then I can take this one out, because this one is higher than the screw terminals. So then we can put on the screw terminals. Cool. I actually use some hot air soldering, so that's why they're on that straight. If I use my normal soldering iron, they don't go on that straight. Which is fine, they work, but, you know, guess we won't be near those power lines with our tents. No, don't think so. Have you ever done anything like with the Christmas lights software with X lights? No, because I've actually looked at it, and I saw Rob from what's his channel called again? The guy with the orange backgrounds, and Dr. Z streams about it, and it looks really cool, and it should work with my digital series boards. So I'm going to look at that when I finish doing these analog boards and move on to those digital boards. So yeah. Pure garbage. Oh, come on. Oh, the hookup. Thank you, Joe. That's it. 2 hours and a half. Oh, 2 hours and 28 minutes. Damn. Well, I'm gonna do the header, the screw terminals at least, and then you know, if it's fun to hang around, we'll do so. Green. Should it be green or blue? Did I do it wrong? I put the wrong color on the other one. Oh well, it's okay. You could do green, blue. Yeah, you could. But I have kind of a system in my head. But I don't really stick too much to it, so it's okay. In the end, it's just a terminal. So I can do blue. If you guys didn't know, these little terminals, they have sides to them where they it's not focusing. There we go. There's a protrusion and a slot. Well, very quickly. And you can actually slide them together like this. And then it looks like it's just one big module. Nope, nope.
It's very confusing, this camera. So, okay. Yeah, okay. Doesn't want to focus. But then it looks like it's just one big module. So then we can place it on here. Two different types? What do you mean? Oh, it's a 4-1 and a 2-1. Oh, these don't actually have that. Okay. That's fine, I guess. Then we need... I don't remember what I use for power. Black. Okay, and then the trick is we take the ESP off of there, if it wants to. There we go. And then I'm going to show you a little trick. Just look at the main camera, I guess. We take our ohmmeter and we do like this. Haha! And then they don't fall out, and you can just solder them in. And that's one of the reasons I work from smallest or shallowest component to highest component, because then you can do these tricks with the components. Yeah, well, when you've been doing as many boards as I have, you welcome every tip. The same as I mentioned with the other board, these are all connected to the big planes on the board, so they could use some heat to soak them in. To bake them in, whatever you want to call it. Oh, the DMX controller from Elector? Cool. Well, with a little bit of coding, and I'll look into that in the future, because Paul already mentioned the Christmas lights and the X-Lights app, but you can also run ArtNet, which is basically DMX for networks, and you can run a DMX to ArtNet gateway. We do that at Camp Zone for the bit lights and stuff like that. And then you can actually talk DMX to digitally controllable LEDs over Wi-Fi. It's really cool. Or wire connection too, but yeah. But you'll have to wait for the dig boards for that. So there's dig Uno and dig Hexa. One is a single channel and the other is a 6 channel. Somewhere this year. Oh. I guess. But on smaller scale and not in like venues but at home, it should work for ArtNet over Wi-Fi. Oh, cool. I guess a directional antenna would help for that. Who knows, Emil? You might be able to use some Quinn LEDs in the future. I know they were controlled over the network, Killer Geek, but I'm not sure if it was ArtNet or not. I think so, actually, yeah. Yeah, that might have been ArtNet. One time we have those little light pillars on all the staggers, scaffolding. And one time we hooked them up to the lighting table inside of the main tent. That was cool. It's kind of zen to hear you in the background. Well, I'm glad you like it. Yeah. Separate VLAN. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What was the name of them? Okay. Thanks for watching, Martijn. Bye-bye. Okay. There we go. Bit layer. Yeah, those ohm lights, that's right. You're going to Joe, or are you saying bye to Martijn? So now we can solder in the voltage regulator. Ah, okay. Well, nice you sticking around, Joe. Love those floodlights of the overpressurized gas lights, because these were dimmable. Okay. Yeah, those ohm little pillar lights, those were cool. And those are already, how many years old? I don't know. That was a real project making those. Okay. That's looking good. So, now we need some MOSFETs. And the reason I'm actually building this is to test some MOSFETs I recently got in. So, okay. Okay. here's my through-hole MOSFET thing. And my tester. Have you guys ever seen one of these testers? Because basically what I have to do every now and then is I buy MOSFETs from some sellers on AliExpress and then test them. Because sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. So these are P16NF06s. And the most important thing I need to know is the VT. But I'm not sure you can see that. Let me just fix that. So the VT is basically the voltage trigger where this MOSFET fully opens. And if you have a bad MOSFET, that's above 3.3 volts, which is what quinled uses. So this one's good. And I'm just going to mix a little bit. This is another different seller. 2.9, that's fine too. .34, that's fine too. And this one has an RDS of 0.1. Didn't check that on the other ones. Zero 0.1. 0.2. Okay, so this one's less efficient, but that's fine. So I'm going to use 3 of those, and then I'm going to use 3 of these. And these are a new type I haven't used before, but I did want to test because they're supposed to be very efficient. 2 volts, 0.1. Yeah, that's good. .6, 0.2. Yeah, that's less good. But okay. So okay, should also work. And then I want to test some of these. And basically, depending on your application and how much wattage you want to put, or amperage actually, you want to put through the board, you should get different MOSFETs. Okay. Yeah. I had expected these to score lower on the RDS, but okay. Okay, that's fine. So, and then I'm going to use one of these. This is again from a different seller. And then I know how to change my links again, so hopefully you guys only get MOSFETs that work correctly. Yep, that's fine too. And that's 10. So, yeah. Okay, hold on. You have a similar component tester on the way? That's cool. I really like it because now I can verify the MOSFETs before putting them on the board instead of having to solder boards and then basically figuring it out at that point that it was never going to work anyway. So, yeah. For me, that tester is a lifesaver because I don't have to test everything per se by soldering it on the board. Do you need to test them or match them in like audio amps? No, you don't need to match them. You can mix and match on the board. Oh, you printed a case for it. Cool. Yeah, I saw those, but I decided to go the easy way with a built-in battery. So. Ah, yeah. ESD protection is not one of my strong suits. Can I say that? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I can be all ESD safe, but then you get the MOSFETs in little plastic bags. So, uh, I also sometimes order MOSFETs from. Oh wait, no, I want this one here. From Conrad. That's a Dutch and German shop, I think. And those come in nice ESD safe bags, and yeah, it's a lot better. But I haven't killed anything yet with ESD, so. The microcontroller isn't actually on here right now, so. But I guess I could kill a MOSFET too. I don't know. There's better ways to do it. As J2Sense always says, don't do as I do, but do as I say. The night is still young, anything can happen. I don't know about that. Okay. 10 little MOSFETs. We're going to use my trick again. Ta-ta-ta. And then for these, because I like having them spaced out in the same way, I basically wriggle them the way I want to have them. Oh. Yeah, should be good. Almost like a pro, or very much not like one. I know, Bert, there's different ways to do this, but that's why we call it hobby, right? Do you always take more ESD precautions, Bert? Ah, okay. Well, if it's your job, I can understand that. I'm not really good at doing it ESD protected. I've been spoiled by ESD protected electronics. I mean, I know it used to be a lot worse that you could actually kill components like I'm doing it right now, but yeah. Oh wow, there's 17 people watching now. Who joined? Welcome. Uh, Okay, I can't get that. No! Sorry. Yeah, as Bert is saying, this is definitely not soldering like a pro. Okay, that should work. Oh shit. I lifted up the board. Why did I do that? For some added drama. Yeah, probably. It's like millions of people watching, so I have to add drama. Well, here in the house we have controlled heating and ventilation, and also moisture, so it's not too bad inside. Outside, yeah, I can understand what you're saying. Come on, little wire. Yeah, some of these pins are connected to the planes again, so it's you have to really heat them up before you can solder them. Thanks, Bert. I appreciate that. It's kind of a self-taught hobby, so I know I'm not doing everything correctly professionally wise, but yeah. Okay. At least I know how to make good solder joints. That's the most important part. Oh. Stuck together again. Right, let me... Yeah, I know it takes some flux. I always, for some reason, I'm always hesitant to do so. I think I can separate these without some flux. Ah, okay, I'll take some flux. Is there a DIY way to do that? because the flux I'm using is non-corrosive, so it's not a problem, but clean would look a lot better. I just don't know how to do that. Oh, sorry. Not to cut the pins because it would damage it after soldering, I guess, but then do you just leave them? How does that work? There we go, fixed it. Or apply solder again after cutting. Yeah. But you don't really cut a lot into the solder joint, though. I mean, okay. Those all look good. Let me show you guys. Yeah, I'm sure that causes a bit of mechanical stress, but I've never had a problem with it. Of course, that doesn't mean anything, but yeah. Focus. There we go. It's maybe not the cleanest job in the world, but at least all the pins are separated and they're baked in there, so the joints were heated up correctly. These seem a bit close together. There's a little blob there. Yeah, it should be good. Yep. Okay. Let's see if you guys have any comments. Cut them to length before soldering. Yeah, I guess I could do that. IPA and Q-tips. Since not finishing that study, let's throw everything they said out of the window. You always learn something. Maybe it's not the thing they wanted you to learn, but you always learn something. Okay, well, I'm going to do the unthinkable. And cut them off anyway. Hey, you want to watch me cutting them off? Hold on. The horror! Yeah. Oh, wrong way around. And my snips aren't actually working correctly anymore, so it's more pull twisting them off. Oh, there we go. See, in my book, if they don't touch each other after snipping them off, I think you've done a great job. Sorry, I need to move this. Oh, sorry, Bert. Sorry about that. I can't just leave them on. That won't work. See, the slaughter is done. The slaughter is done. It'll work. It might not be the way to do it, but. Thanks, Paul, for joining. See you later, or talk to you later. Okay, then we need again to set a voltage regulator, and then we're almost done. These are both analog boards. So quinled-quad and quinled-deca are both analog boards. The quinled-dig hexa and the quinled-dig uno, well, it's in the name. Those are the digital boards, but those will be coming out later this year. I have some prototypes of them. Actually, I can show you. Right? This is a prototype. Hold on. This is a prototype Dig Uno. You can see it has two caps on there. And then the input, a 3.3 volt to 5 volt regulator. Or level shifter, I guess. It has the 4 output terminals, plus, minus, and then clock and data. And then I even managed to squeeze in some GPIO pins over there. You can barely see it. So you can hook up something else like a sensor or something like that. These boards can handle about 16 amps or so. So you can actually push the current to the digital LEDs through it instead of having to use a different line for that. And they fit together like this, just like the other designs. And then you have a nice little controller package. It has a temperature sensor, for fun mostly, on board. And, yeah. So this is a Dig Uno. But more about these later in the year. We were going to put this together. Blank Fort Fabian. Thanks. Okay, so this is a plus. So I was actually talking with Paul about this yesterday or the day before. The inputs on this board, or maybe someone else, I don't know. The inputs on this board, there's two inputs, one at the, I can't see, one at the top and one at the bottom, but they are both connected to the same plane. So it's not intentionally meant for using multiple power supplies. You can use multiple power supplies. I don't advise you to, but it is possible. But nowadays, most power supplies, like open frame power supplies, have multiple output rails, and is basically meant to connect it to multiple output rails of the same power supply, like a 350 watt or a 200 watt or something like that, and then it's also distributed better over the board. So that's why it has 2 voltage terminals, but it's not specifically for using 2 power supplies. So, is it really a hobby? Did you do some electronics? No, I'm actually in IT, and of course then I have to deal with electronics, but electronics is, yeah, basically a hobby. And I've been interested in it since I was a child, so I guess that's why, but yeah. Okay, time to get the voltage meter out again. Is it on screen? No. Yes. 20. That's fine. Did I make my own design then? Yeah, these boards are my own designs. So the quinled-OG and the quad-deca and the DIG series, they're all my own designs. Well, if you use a decent power supply, it should of course protect against overvolting and overdrawing. But the problem is also in balancing power supplies. You'll have to get exactly the same one, and even then balancing is very fickle thing. So unless you really know what you're doing, I don't advise it. Slippery solder joints. So this one also needs to go to 5 volts. Or a little bit above it is good, because then it compensates for the diode a little bit. Okay, no. Thank you, Bert. Yeah, it took a bit of time to learn it, but my motivator is most often is I want this, it doesn't seem to exist, or whatever exists, I don't agree with how it was built, so I guess I'll just have to build it myself, and, well, that's a really stupid motivator maybe, but that's how it often goes. And, yeah, then I learn everything associated with it, and then I need to know, and then I build it most often. So yeah, and I like doing that. So it's, as I said, it's really a hobby. Okay, let's get a temperature sensor. Again, I'm putting in this one in last, but I've since altered the designs that it uses the 3.3 volts of the ESP module instead of the 5 volts of the voltage regulator, and so it shouldn't blow up anymore if you solder it on there before setting the regulator. And no designs that did that ever made it into the public, so if you ordered these boards you don't have to worry about that. You actually get newer designs that I'm working on right here. But yeah. Okay, let's get some flux on these tiny little joints. There we go. Oh. Yep, that should be good. Yep, very nice. I'm going to do the unspeakable again. Okay. Thanks, Fabian. Okay, well, with these horrific actions, this board seems to be done. Of course, what I'm doing now should also never be done, is I'm bending the joints a little bit to line up the MOSFETs. I didn't do the prettiest job in getting them in there. But, yeah. If you now take the ESP32, you can... Oh, wait, I forgot to solder these headers. But you don't actually have to if you're not going to use them. So those are some extra voltage points, ground points, and I/O headers. So you can connect sensors and stuff like that. Well, I'm gonna put those on there. Okay, never mind. Pin headers. Pin header mail. I have so many pin headers, it's insane. But I actually need the angled ones. Where did I put those? No. Well, yeah, and I did think of a design, Emil. It's not as easy as just following the datasheets and then plugging it all on the board. You have to lay it out logically and test it and make sure your traces are sound. And took a while to design all that. But yeah, I am cheating. For instance, I'm using that ESP development board. This one. There's of course a lot of components on there too, which I don't have to do or design myself because someone else already did that. I'm just borrowing it. And the same thing with the voltage converter. I'm just taking a module which already works and does its thing, and I'm putting it on my board. So that makes it a bit easier to design. And the main reason for that is I could design it, but that would, again, make it less DIY friendly. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And I'm actually not even sure if it would make it cheaper. Yeah, following in, especially the first one I designed was a lot of learning curve. And I have a history video where you can see, well, basically how I did that. I started with a breadboard and I started with version 1 and version 2 and lots of that kind of stuff. With these, it was already easier. But yeah. I need some DuPont cables, but I don't know where I put them. There we go. Two, 4, 6. So I'm going to use a little trick to get these soldered in correctly. Because if I just put them in there, they'll basically fall flat. But if I do it like this, they should stay at the right angle so that you can plug in the DuPont cables later on too. Okay, let's try and solder that. Of course, they're just going to fall out because I didn't do them in the right order. Damn it. Yeah, that will work. Maybe you guys should look away again. So, after this, I'm going to end the stream because all the components have been soldered. Does anyone have any burning questions left? Have to wait for my soldering iron to heat up. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay. What's the next thing I'm going to stream or make a video of? I don't know. I'm preparing some IP camera stuff again. I might do a Road to Ryzen video on what my plans are for this year. There's still 13 of you guys. I know. Let me, there you go. Does that work? Yeah, good enough. This way, right? Yeah. So yeah, some Road to Ryzen maybe, and I'm dreading making a Ultimate Overkill disc video, but I really should at some point. And yeah, I don't know, some of those topics. Maybe some point in this year, if I get a bit more time, I'll do some fully loaded charger tests. I always like doing those, but I don't have the time for them right now. And you know, just the generic subjects of my channel, so IP cam and the quinled and stuff like that. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, I'm going to be guest star in Dr. Z's stream on the 3rd of February, talking about quinleds. So yeah. If no one has any questions, this stream was 3 hours and 25 minutes. Holy crap. Yeah, that's gonna be a good stream. That's, yeah, I'm gonna like that. So, thank you guys for watching, especially the guys who were all the time. That's really a commitment. So, thank you very much. And, yeah, see you in the Discord, and otherwise see you another time in another video. So, bye-bye. No problem. Yeah. Have a good night, guys. Okay, I'm really going to hit stop now. Bye.